Hello, it's been a while since I made an update video in this channel. So this time, this video will be filled with spoilers because we are going to take a look at the New Game Plus content. This is a former save that I have with the New Game Plus. At the moment you finish the game, you have the option to use this menu. It's called Depths of Murond, where you can do certain things like check your formation, for example. And the menus usually takes a bit to load sometimes. And so you now can see all the roster that you have available. You have access to your bench, so you can unbench certain allies that you have. And but what is the main features from the New Game Plus? So if you're curious about and you don't want to experience for yourself, which I actually recommend to do so, this video will show up what you can actually do in the New Game Plus. First option we have here is sell discoveries. In New Game Plus content in the Lion War mod, you have an additional utility for the treasures and the unexplored lands that you find through propositions and through side quests, where you can sell the treasures that you obtained. And if you have obtained all treasures and all lands by doing all propositions and doing the side content like the Deep Dungeon and Beowulf side quests, you have a bonus that you get for all completion, actually. So why do you sell those treasures? Those when you sell those treasures, you get those character points that you can actually spend on some of the usabilities of the New Game Plus content. But before we explore the ways you can spend those points, I also want to show you the Forbidden Tome feature. Forbidden Tome feature is basically a way to adapt the difficulty of the game, not like a balance mod, but more like increasing the level from the enemies from both story and from side quests. So if you wish to live in peace, you keep the game as it was. If you select no, you have the option to select you want a nightmare. If you select no, you wish to have a future. If you say something like that, it just cancels it. But if you say you wish to live in peace, no, and a nightmare, you enter the nightmare mode, which is the cap for level 50. So all characters from the story, like even from the beginning of the game, will be set at level 50. If you choose to not live in peace, that you don't want a nightmare, but you don't wish a future, you activate the no future mode. The no future mode is a mode that made specifically for uh, usually more for those that had actually first played a game once at least, because it's like level 99 in every enemies in every challenges you face. And if you have collected most of the broken items or for the more powerful items, you usually can do it fine playing the game the whole from the beginning at level 99, even if your team is not at level 99. It's actually a very effective way to grind levels in one of the features from the New Game Plus that is, in fact, the New Game Plus. This feature allows you to start the game all over with everything that you had collected before. So, but first, before we explore that, let me show you how the spend character points actually works. So here you have all the units in your roster from spots 1 to 10 and 11 to 20. So if you click, it will show the list of the characters you have available in those spots, which is why I took Boko from my bench, because I want to show you one of the features from the mod. And clicking the button to cancel doesn't work well in those menus. Usually it's better to move the cursor and select the option that you want. One of the options that you have available is recruiting special units. Like, there are certain monsters you can only obtain through modding, and in this case, they decided to use the mod to allow you an option to recruit those monsters to your team. So you can recruit an Apanda, so you can now see the Apanda. They have their job with all the different bio skills from the game. So modders can actually change some of those skills and change their kits as well. You can also recruit other units, like I show you, the arcade demon. Usually you face them in many moments in the story. Arcade demon. I'm gonna store one of those units in the bench so you guys can check more detail. And the last one you can recruit is an Ultima Demon. So it's a nice way that you can start a game with a couple of monsters that you probably would never play in a vanilla run unless you're playing some custom made mod that you probably made yourself. Their names are random as well as any monster, and you can rename them in the soldier's office as any other monsters from vanilla. And the Ultima Demon has Ultima and some other skills. What other features that we have in that spend CP? Well, we have a couple of different features depending on each unit. There is a basic feature for generic units. Let's just check formation once again so you guys can check. Some of you have played a mod and already maybe got curious about, well, why there is some skills like there's a different skill for summoner in support skills that's not available. Or what about a thief that has, just a second, and sorry, controller issues. So the thief that there's a new skill here. How do you learn those skills? Actually, these are part of the New Game Plus feature, the Depth of Murond. Here, you can select a unit, like Alicia, and the first ability that you have is Transmigration. Transmigration is basically the level made automatically by the game. So you do as you do while you're leveling in the original game. You select a job, usually a lower lower growth job, like bard or dancer or chemist, and you select one of those options, and your character will be reset to level 1, and keeping the stats as the level, and if you select a higher grading option, as those have, you keep a higher bonus from your status. So, like, if you select 1, you will be reset to level 1. I will show you a few of the options later with more points. I will need to load the game to show you more. We'll show you one by one. So, going from the other options, we have change zodiacs. So if you prefer to have any zodiac sign for your special units that you feel like you want a better compatibility or you don't want to bother with the system, you can change your zodiac sign to any of the zodiac signs available, including Serpentarius. What is the benefit of changing to Serpentarius? Is that you don't need to bother with the zodiac compatibility anymore. So, like, there is no bonus or a penalty for attacking or doing damage or doing spells against the characters. So it's kind of a neat feature for those who don't like to bother with the system. And the last one related to that thing that I show you about characters having certain hidden skills is learn abilities. So they decided to implement some unique enemy skills available so you can learn, so you can have some additional fun playing New Game Plus, like Shadow Stitch and Stop Bracelet from the Assassins, so you can have a 100% guaranteed stop or dead skill. Teleport 2, that is Master Teleport in the War of the Lions version, that is basically teleport that doesn't fail, so allows you to teleport to any spot in the map. And Non-Charge, which is the skill that cancels all charging time costs, so you can cast any spells instantly. Like, it's amazing for units like Cloud, or if you want to have fun with Ultima, like with Ramza. Speaking of Ramza had some new special abilities added, like the spells available from the Ultima, the Ultima 2, and all Ultima can be bought for Ramza with those points as well. Some specific units have special features related to this feature in itself. Like an example, Raze. Raze have a special ability that allows her to morph into another shape. Like, she can turn back into dragon. There may be some slight bugs related to the completion of her side quests, that if you are in the process of finishing their side quest, she will not be allowed to morph. And this save specifically is at the end game. Usually if you morph once, you can get a small bug, but it's important because you will only be able to learn new spells with Raze if you morph once. So you need to morph back to dragon and morph back again to human form, so it will be able to learn spells with Raze. Another special units that have additional features related to this system is monster units, like Worker 8. An example, you can learn new skills for Worker 8, like you can learn battle skills for him, or an additional move. And that also affects the new recruitable monsters, like the Panda that I recruited. Like, he can learn Draw Out from Samurai, or he can get the support skill Magic Attack Up. And some of those skills actually improve, like if you buy Move +1, an example, I can buy Move +2, and so on. Not all skills have that, but many of those have, which incentivizes you to replay the game once again and get more points, so you can unlock new skills or new spells for the monsters that you are interested in playing with. And another monster that has a specific, unique feature is this is why I removed him from the bench. Boko. Boko is allowed to job change. You can change him to any chocobo you prefer. Like you want to use Boko, but you don't like using a yellow chocobo, you can change him for a red chocobo. And you can change back if you want a black chocobo. And so on and so forth. So if I go to my formation, here is Boko with black chocobo skills. It's a nice feature for you to use for another new playthroughs, which is basically what the New Game Plus content is. It's for an excuse for you to play the game once again with a new twist. So things can be a bit broken, can be a bit overpowered. It's your game, have fun. You already beat the vanilla game probably 100 times already. So I will. So these are the basic features. So now, and there is the other feature that I said I would show you is the Transmigration system. So, like, if I want to level again my units to get more stronger for my New Game Plus, because I want to see how the unit can get better, like I can just change Ranza, an example, for Bard. And I can use that feature from the Transmigration to reduce his level to 1, and then level with better jobs like Dark Knight or Ninja or Mime to get better status. And so I can make my character even more broken. So I can walk through any rendezvous with any units that I want. Each Transmigration has a special animation. So I will show you. I don't have points enough for buying all of them because I bought the special unit. So I will load the save once again after I do this one. So I will show you like the distinguish. So now we're going back to the formation. You can see my Runza is level 1. It has reduced some status, but now I can level him to a better job and get more benefits from reaching level 99. So you can do it anytime you have job points available. It doesn't need to be a level 99 unit, but the decrease will be proportional. It's exactly as the leveling manually in the game. So the process is optimized, but with the points. So I will show you a couple more based on the points available that I have. But the most cool one is the most expensive one. Keeps the 35% bonus. I will show you after I show the other features that we have as well. So what we have is the regular ending. If you select this option, you'll be able to see the end game. You won't be able to keep the progress or anything. You won't be able to go back to the depth of Murond and select the other options, but you will see the vanilla ending for the game. So if you cancel, you go back here, and we have the Continue Plus. Continue Plus allows you to keep playing the game from where you were playing before. Exactly after the defeat of Ultima, So the game goes back before you goes to Orbones and starts the final mission from the game. So you can play random battles or do some monster hunting or whatever with the things that you collected from the Depths of Murond post game content. And if it's your first time, you will unlock the post-game rendezvous missions that are exclusive available after you beat the game at least once. So if I go to Continue Plus, or if I go to my New Game Plus, how do I access the Depths of Murond again? Do I need to beat the game once more to be able to play the New Game Plus content? No, the mod authors have planned something for this. You can open your bonus content, which is where you open your rendezvous missions, and you can select the Depth of Murond, and you can open up as any other rendezvous missions. So we'll be able to go through the menus once again. So it's exactly the same thing. So I can just leave. You can't start New Game Plus or a Continue Plus from this menu. You can just use the utilities available on the Depths of Murond, but you need to beat the game once again to be able to do a New Game Plus or a Continue Plus or to see the end game credits. You can also use the feature for Forbidden Tome at any moment on your New Game Plus playthroughs, so you can change for No Future right now or start a new game and eventually change for new game for No Future or Nightmare modes at any moment you prefer. So I will load my save once again to show you the best animation for the Transmigration systems. That is the max points available. So Ramza, like, we will just transmigrate Ramza to a genius. And this is the animation. So now we're gonna select another unit to show you guys the other ones. Like, I show you the Distinguish. This is the Skilled. This is the Average. This is the Incompetent. None of them are negative unless you do it with better growth job. Like I'm doing just to show you guys the animations. But you usually need to change for a lower growth job, like Bard or Dancer or Chemist, for using better the feature. And the Good for Nothing. One important detail is that the basic 1-point cost version, that is the one that I chose from Stadio, the Good for Nothing, is basically the level process from vanilla. So there's no penalty in choosing a lower version if you don't have points available to choose something like Genius. So, and I always usually recommend for anyone that is grinding levels on a New Game Plus to actually change the feature. You can basically beat the game in most random events if you have decent equipment or jobs, or if you have already unlocked a couple of the most useful skills like No Charge or Teleport 2. So there's really little to no benefit to not use the feature anytime you beat the game, unless you're just lazy and don't want to bother with leveling your units. But as once again, the feature is basically a novelty. It's just for those who actually want to replay the game once more with stuff they collected without starting all over from scratch. So for the end, I will show you guys how the New Game Plus works. But I will show you in the No Future version, so you guys can see how the game works if we start a New Game Plus. So if I start a New Game Plus, the game goes directly to the new game. So it starts from Urban Monastery. Doesn't play the opening cutscene, but goes straight to the intro. You can't skip the intro. If you're using any of the quality of mods, you can use cross skip or something like that to speed the texts, so you don't need to read all stuff. Like this mod is already applied with cross skip, this version of the mod that I'm running. And that's basically this. So some credits are due. I probably should have done to the beginning of the video, but the New Game Plus, all the post-game event from the menu, from the animations, have all been made by Shifany from the Final Fantasy Tactics team. She is the responsible for their website, and also is basically one hell of a hacker that can build this kind of stuff. She made the event all by herself, and was implemented to this version of the game. So shout out to her. She also made an amazing quality of life mod that will showcase in the future in my playthrough that I'm postponing for a while from the mod, from beginning to end. But as you can see, it's basically the event as it was when you start a new game. But since I choose No Future, there will be a difference here. Gafgarian and all the enemies will be at level 99. So fights usually will take a little bit longer for the intro, but is the only way to do Garyland in a higher difficulty. This is it's a random runza. It doesn't have anything you have in your playthrough available. Once you beat the mission, you will be prompted to Garyland, and you can use your units that you have kept from the game. A couple of doubts that some people may have about recruiting units. Any units that you dismiss at any point of the game, when showed up at the moment they are available in a more, once again, you'll be able to recruit them once more, but they will lose anything that you have changed on them. Maybe buying your skills or leveling your job. They will come with the level curve based on the main units you have, with exception of Cloud, that will always come at level 1. And so if you don't want to level certain units in different jobs, it's usually better to recruit them first in the first playthrough, so you can unlock the additional content, but maybe dismiss them prior to the end of the game, so you can recruit them already leveled in your future playthroughs. And there is a specific feature in how the mod is built, that when a unit will be present in an event, like on a guest unit or an enemy unit, you will no longer be able to deploy that unit to that mission. So if I'm playing chapter 2 with a battle that Agrias joins your mission, you will not be able to use your Agrias. It will be the guest Agrias provided by the game with the features and the levels and the skills available for that challenging level you're playing right at that moment. So there's no additional bugs breaking the sprite limits or something like that. But basically it's, as I said, there is no difference between playing normally the game except for that. So I hope you guys who are more curious about how the feature worked had your curiosity sated. I would definitely not recommend to showing this video for someone that actually wants to experience that for themselves for the first time. It's a really nice thing to actually be the first time finding and seeing the feature. But some people don't care about spoilers or prefer to know what is entailed in this mysterious post-game content. And the mod has been available for a long time already, so it's long due to someone to put some content on showing what is available in this. Okay, thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and the links for the content, it will be on the description of the video as always. And for those curious and following my channel for a long time, I'm planning to come back to my playthrough from the start with the quality of life mod, and eventually probably going to be a weekly episode at most. No promises when, but probably by the end of the year I will start once again. Thank you for watching once more, and be safe, be well, have a nice day.